What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 11 Episode 5 review. So, this episode starts off with Portia and Dennis meeting Portia's mom. It was a totally opposite reception than when they met Dennis's mom, because you know Portia's mom is all here for it, honey. She hear wedding bells and little pit pattering feet and everything else. Now here's what's crazy. They met at Crew, which is Dennis's hookah lounge, and the first thing that Portia gonna say when her mama get there, they take the hookah away. She said, "Oh good, because my mother can't stand the smell of hookah." Then why the fuck would y'all meet at a hookah lounge? The hell? Why you could have went to a nice restaurant like y'all went to when y'all met his mama? Why you take her to a hookah lounge and she don't like the smell of hookah? That's just dumb. Anyway. So the whole conversation was beautiful. You know, Portia's mom is, "Oh, are we talking about marriage? Oh, you know, because she got those eggs there. We don't want the eggs to be wasted." And I mean, it was a totally opposite. Like her mom was just all here for the shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying? But we know how Portia's mother is, you know. And then, of course, they talked about, she was saying how, you know, I was in such a controlling relationship, you know, with my ex-husband. And, of course, I know Bravo being shady. They went back and showed a couple of clips with Cordell Stewart and, I guess, examples of him being controlling the Portia. And she said, you know, I'm Portia 2.0 now, and I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable with who I am. And I just, you know, I'm glad that I'm with somebody who lets me be me. And, you know, great. Happy for you, Portia. I just think that everybody, like everybody else said, maybe y'all just moving a little fast. But you know what? If you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. So then the ladies go to lunch, right? Now, Candy, this is where you fucked up. Todd told you stay the fuck out of this. Now, you done took over the bone collector from Miss Sheree, honorary PhD. You done took her job. Did y'all see that? That somebody done gave Sheree as an honorary PhD? What the hell? What could she possibly have done to earn an honorary PhD? I'm just wondering. I ain't hating. I just want to know what she did so I can do it. Anyway, back to this. So they're at lunch. And, you know, it's Marlo, Cynthia, Nene, and Candy. And Marlo's doing what Marlo does, throwing a little shade at Cynthia, because talking about something. I'm glad you decided to wear something feminine today, because you normally you've been wearing them jeans and sneakers. You've been a little tomboyish lately. Cynthia was like, I like my sneakers. But anyway, so they got to talking, doing what they do, girlfriend stuff. So Candy brings up the whole Portia situation and how she got this information on Dennis. Should she share with Portia or not? Nene was like, no, hell no, not at all. She said, I don't get involved in people in their relationships, and you and Portia just ain't there yet. Y'all are still on real shaky ground, and she just wouldn't receive it coming from you. Cynthia was a little bit more like, I think I'd want to know. You ain't want to know about Will last year, but anyway, we ain't going to go back down that road. I think Marlo said yes, but Nene was the main one that was saying no. But then as a group, they decided, collectively as a group, that they weren't going to tell Portia. Just let Portia be happy and in love, But Candy told them everything. Everything she knew, she spilled all that damn tea, honey. About the tattoo, about just everything. The Rolex, all of that. Nene talking about something, well, all the Rolex is real? That's what I be thinking. If I knew somebody and they gave all their girlfriends or boyfriends Rolexes, I'd be thinking that they know somebody where the Rolexes fall off the back of the truck. Or the Rolex tick like this and not like this. But anyway, it's another conversation. So, we see Miss Eva the Diva and her mom, and they're going dress shopping. Now, I'm having a little deja vu tease, because I feel like I just went through this shit with the Real Housewives of Potomac with Candace and her mama. Every dress that Eva came out there with, her mama was like, nope, hell no, don't like that, don't like the neckline, don't like the tulle, don't like. Not one dress that they showed us, because you know how they edit. Excuse me, but not one dress that they showed us, her mother liked it. I mean, nothing nice to say. She didn't say nothing nice about any of those dresses. And Eva's best friend, or one of her friends, was there, and she was just kind of like, mm. And you heard them talking at the end. At the end of the scene or whatever. Eva was back in the dressing room. You heard her friend saying, "Look, I'll, you let me know what you need me to do. I'll help you do whatever you need. You get the dress you want, and I'll run interference however I can." Now that's a friend. That's a friend. I don't understand these mother of the bridezillas. I mean, I've never been married, so, But I know my mom would be done. Don't get me wrong. My mama would definitely have opinions. But I don't think my mother would want to take over like these mothers seem to be trying to just take over and want it to be. And her mother even said, it's my wedding. I keep trying to tell Eva it's my wedding. And Eva was like, but I'm, now, I don't know what kind of bridal shop they was in, because one of them dresses she tried on was $60,000. 60 who? Eva said, my Jeep cost $60,000. Hell, the car I drive don't even cost $60,000. So at least you got a Jeep that costs that. I don't even have, nothing, my car don't even cost. You could buy 2 of my cars for $60,000, okay? So, I was just like, okay. But later on, we see that they go out to lunch, and Eva is trying to explain to her mother they're talking about the wedding, and somehow the guest list comes up. And Eva was saying how the majority of the guest list belongs to her husband. And, her husband has the businesses, and he also ran for mayor. So there probably are a lot of willing dealers and a lot of networking type of things that, people that he feels like he has to invite for the purposes of his business and stuff like that. And her mother was like, well, I don't think that's fair. I mean, I have some more people that I would like to invite. And Eva was like who? She said, well, I mean, people that maybe, you may not be that close with, but I'm close with them, and they've helped me out with you. And Eva was like, and you feel like that means they should be invited to the wedding? She was like, I do. And Eva was like, look, I'm paying for this wedding. We already over budget. Like, I budgeted a certain amount, and she said, so, it's not like if you add 2 or 3 names, it's just $15 more. It adds a lot to it. She was like, and her mother was like, well, I just don't think it's a big deal adding 2 or 3 more names to it. I don't think it's a problem. And Eva got ready to, I guess, rebut the whole situation. And her mother was like, I'm not having this conversation with you. Now, the way I interpreted it was, we ain't doing this in front of the cameras. That's how I interpreted it. She was like, I'm not doing that with you. And, cut Eva off. Eva's sitting there crying. Her mama eating her lunch. She ain't paying Eva ass no attention. Them tears don't mean nothing to her. Because, I mean, that's her daughter. She been seeing her cry her whole life. Them little tears don't do nothing. So Eva gets up, goes into the bathroom to get herself together. She talks to the producer. She is telling the producer, she just doesn't understand the stress this puts on me. She just doesn't understand how upset I am by this. And then she comes back out and she apologizes to her mother. Tell me, I'm sorry I cried. What you apologizing for? All you did was tell your mama that she can't invite more people to the wedding. I don't see what you should have apologized. Now, it is your mother, and I'm not saying that you let it fester, you let it turn into a big deal either. And maybe she know how to deal with her mama, and that's the best way to deal with her mama. And her mother did apologize and say, well, I'm sorry that I made you feel like made you cry, made you feel that way. And she said, Eva said, look, she said in her confessional, going through some of the bumps and bruises that me and my mother are going to go through, it doesn't change the fact that I still wouldn't want anybody else with me through this journey. So it's a little different from the whole Candace thing in Potomac, but like I said at the beginning, I was just getting some deja vu because Candace's mama didn't seem to really care how Candace felt or whatever, but I still think her mama, I don't know, honey. But, I respect, where her mama coming from. Her mama's like, look, if he got 150 people coming, why I can't invite 3 more people? I don't see the problem. But they end up having a good moment. They get past that moment, and like I said, Eva says in her confessional that even with everything else, that's still my mama. I love her, and ain't nothing gonna change that. And I had to deal with what I had to deal with from her, but we gonna always that's my ride or die. So I respect that. That's beautiful. Then let's talk about this Ronnie DeVoe and this Shamar. Now let me tell y'all something. Y'all know I done said it how I feel about my man Ronnie. So they having a moment. They're talking. They're talking about the boy's birthday party. They're having the party for the twins. And she was saying how, he's complaining about the party turning into like this big event. They're having it at the house. And she said, well, I told you I wanted a big party because I never had a baby shower. And I could understand that. She had a hard pregnancy. She was on bed rest. One of the babies they didn't even know were going to necessarily make it. So I could definitely understand her saying, number one, we want to celebrate the life. We want to celebrate the fact that we made it through that we have 2 healthy boys. And the fact that I never even had a baby shower. So I didn't get all of my roses as a mother. And I could understand that. Baby showers are a big deal because it's funny because I'm looking at the decor and everything for their baby shower. I mean, for their one. That was what I did for my sister's that's what I did for my sister's baby shower. It was the same color, that royal blue and gold. It was the same theme. The little prince is here. We didn't have twins, though. So it was just so deja vu. And I ain't spend that kind of money. They spent $10,000. I didn't spend that kind of money, but I certainly spent more than I should have. Honey, we were going to have a red carpet for my sister to walk in on, and we finally had to dial ourselves back. Me and my mama was like, okay, all right, let's regroup. We doing too much. But we edited ourselves down. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, and then she proceeds to tell him about what happened at the Bailey Q, where she told everybody that they had an open relationship. Honey, Ronnie was like, you felt like that was just appropriate to just tell everybody at the table? Like, you felt like that was just an appropriate thing to do? He was like, hey, we got drinking. Like, he was like, we got drinking. Like, what the fuck? And she was like, and I see where she's coming from to a certain extent. She was like, look, my past is my past, and I'm not ashamed of my past. I was who I was, and look at where we are now. We are stronger. We are together. Our marriage lasted. So I'm not ashamed to let people know the things that we went through. And he was like, yeah, but everything ain't just ain't for everybody, And she was like, in her confessional, she was saying how, she met him when she was 21, I think. And she was saying that there was a lot of things that she wanted to go through, wanted to experience, and that's why she really opened up their marriage the way she did. She said, but, it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. It got a little too much. And at first, I thought she was saying because Ronnie was out there wilding. But what she was, see, and this is where men and women are different. This is that Mars and Venus thing. She was getting emotionally attached to the person she was messing with. He was just out there getting it in. He was just out there, hitting and quitting on tour, probably having a couple of one-night stands here and there. She was actually getting involved with, because she said she was bi-curious. He said you was bi-crazy. But anyway, she said that she was actually becoming, attached to these women or woman. And that, she realized that it wasn't what she wanted. And she was just talking about how much that their marriage had been through and how they just kind of came through the other side, which, again, I can respect the fact that y'all been through something and you're not ashamed of what y'all went through, but yeah, you might need to edit yourself down a little bit, Shamari. Everybody don't need to know everything. Like, it's, So, once again, Nene and Greg are bringing us in on their journey with cancer. There's a nutritionalist that's coming in the house to show Greg how to eat healthy and showing him some different things and showing him some super juices that he can drink that includes, like all the greens and just different things like that. And while that's going on later on that day, they get a phone call from the doctor. Greg has had some tests, and basically they're detecting cancer cells again. And the doctor's recommending chemo. Greg don't want to do it. I don't know what the reluctance is. I just don't. I don't know. And I'm not judging it at all because I've not walked a mile in that man's shoes. But if the doctor says this is here to help you live, yeah, there's some side effects to it. Yeah, it's not an easy road. But at the end of this road, you got a 70-80% chance of living for another 20 years versus if you do nothing, it's certainly a bad road for you that may end your life in 2 or 3 years. I'm not really understanding what the problem is, and again, I'm not judging, I just don't understand it. And I understand faith. I do. I'm a very spiritual person. I have my faith as well. But I'm one of those people that believes that God put things here for us. Like, you could pray, but God provides the doctors, the medicine, the cures, the chemo. Like, God provided that here for us to get us through these things. That's how I look at it. That's what my spirituality says to me. But I'm not judging. That is certainly a personal decision. And I know y'all saw this week when Nene went off on Greg and, publicly. I personally ain't buying that. I'm thinking that the ratings are down. I'm thinking that it might be just something to drum up ratings. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I don't believe that. I just ain't buying that whole thing. Anyway, moving on. So we get down to the party for the twins. It's a beautiful affair. The house is full. There's blue and gold everywhere. Balloons and the $1,000 cakes are arrived. They have a chef. They have slides out back. It's a beautiful event. Beautiful. She said they spent $10,000 for the party. I could easily see where $10,000 was spent on this party. I mean, they spent $1,000 on the cake alone. Right? They got a personal chef. So, Candy shows up with Ace and Todd. And Marlo brings her little nephew. And Shamari said that she didn't think Portia was going to come because she was saying that Portia was acting a little shady. She invited Portia to bring her nephew, and Portia was like, he gonna be with his dad. And she said, me and Portia done known each other. We went to elementary school, middle school, and high school together. And she acting like she don't even know me. Like, she throwing a little bit of shade, and I don't even know where it's coming from, And Candy was like, yeah, because, I thought y'all knew each other, And then they bring up the little peach game again, and they try to say that Eva shows up with her daughter and her fiance. That Eva was throwing a little shade towards Shamari way with the whole makeover thing. Now, let me tell you something. Now, Eva, I love you, Eva. And I respect the fact that last week you stood in your shit. Now, this week, though, you was doing a little BPPP. Hashtag that. And you was saying that you weren't throwing no shade, but you was throwing a little shade because the rules of the game said either answer the question or give the peach to the person you believe the question is about. You said no shade, but I'm going to follow the rules of the game, and you gave the peach to Shamari to insinuate that you felt like Shamari needed a makeover. Now, you tried to backpedal and pussy pop that thing, but you did it. You did it, Eva, and I love you, though. I love you, Eva, but you did it. So, all right. The party overall was nice. It looked like it was really nice. It looked like it was really hot. Everybody was fanning. At first, we saw Marlo doing it. And, Marlo quick to throw some shade and stuff. So, I was thinking that maybe Marlo was just, but everybody was fanning themselves. So, I'm not going to say it was nothing wrong with their air conditioner because there was a lot of people in that house. I'm going to say, why wasn't there more people outside? That's what I'm going to say. Because if the house was too full and it was too hot, y'all had them slides out back. I'm sure y'all had some tables and shit set up. Get out. Get your plate and move to the back. Because it looked like the house was hot. But anyway, so then we see Candy, Don Juan, and her husband, Lord Todd, down to the candy factory. Now, whenever we see a scene with Don Juan and they at the candy factory, you know it's about to be a bunch of cackling and a bunch of shit. You know what's about to go down. So, come to find out, the conversation they had at lunch, where everybody agreed they wasn't going to tell Portia shit, somebody done went and told Portia. So now, it done circled back around to Candy, and Dennis is calling all his ex-girlfriends and everybody calling Candy to try to figure out who knows what, who told what, and why it was said. And Don Juan was like, you shouldn't have said nothing. You should have stayed the hell out of it because that was in a no-win situation, which is the same thing your husband told you, which is the same thing Nene told you. Come to find out, though, who was the one that went back and told Portia? The main person that said don't say nothing. Nene. And then Nene did some old, it wasn't even black backpedaling. She just point blank said she didn't say it. And was lying. Because Portia said, Nene called me and said, ... Nene said point blank, she didn't say it. Told the producer, said it in her confessional, and said it at the table. That she didn't say nothing. What? Nene, you normally stand in your shit. Nene, now. Now, Nene. Because it was either Cynthia, Nene, or Marlo. And by deduction, Candy figured it wasn't any of the two of them. She figured Marlo and Portia just started being friends. And Cynthia, that ain't Cynthia's style. And she figured that it was Nene. So they end up going to lunch at a wine bar or wine tasting, because Cynthia's getting ready to open up a wine bar. Now, anytime you start a sentence off with, I don't know a whole lot about wine, but then opening up a wine bar may not necessarily be your thing. Now, if you say, I'm going into business with someone who's opening a wine bar, and I forget the name for people who know a lot about wine, but y'all know what I'm talking about, and they just need an investor, that's another conversation. If you say this person knows a lot about wine and they just want to use my name, that's another conversation. But to say you want to open up a wine bar, but you don't know nothing about wine. So Candy is actually asking her questions about wine and price points and stuff, and Cynthia don't have no answers. But she didn't secure the spot already. She didn't already secure the spot for the wine bar, talking about, well, I have a team of people who'll be able to answer all of your questions. You need to be able to answer all of my questions, honey. I don't know about that one, Cynthia. But neither here nor there. They were there. So Portia and Candy get there first, and then you could cut the tension with a knife. But Portia said, Candy out here starting mess in the street, but I'm not gonna let her win. And every chance she got, she brought up Dennis, because she was waiting for Candy to say something. She really wanted Candy to say something. And finally, Candy said, "Look, let's just go on and address the elephant in the room. All right? Clearly, we had this conversation at lunch a couple of days ago. Nene came back and told you. Nene told my son, what? Nene. That's when she was trying to deny it. Neither here nor there. You said it. That's when Bravo shaded your ass and let them see that you denied it. And then Portia said in her confessional that Nene told you. Anyway. And come to find out, Portia tells them at the table that the man did get the tattoo. See, that's what it is, Portia. You was feeling stupid because the man got the tattoo. Hold on a second. And Nene was like, oh, really? Oh, see, I didn't know that. Oh. And of course, Portia's like, I mean, he got so many tattoos. He might have a couple of women in there tattooed for all we know. Candy was like, well, we know he does. And basically, Portia was just like, I'm happy. Why y'all just can't be happy? And in her confessional, she was like, we going down the wrong road. Me and Candy, we was doing good. We going down the wrong road. And I can see where Portia's coming from. And it's always a catch-22. When you know somebody that's messing with somebody that got some questionable situation, it's always a catch-22. Whether you really good friends with that person, past some friends with that person, or just acquaintances. It's always a catch-22. And with their history, you should have just stayed the hell out of it. But now that it's out, Portia, you need to take heed to what's being said. Like, it's out there now. Pay attention. Listen. Don't be so quick to think that, we always, as women, I guess men do it too, but we always so quick to think that we're the one that's going to change something. And it happens. We know that it happens, but honey, you kiss so many frogs out there before you get to Prince Charming. You can't think that every frog is going to be Prince Charming, honey. Anyway, y'all. That's where the episode ended. I just don't know. I don't know. But I just don't know why Nene would do that and then deny it anyway. But that's where the episode ended, honey. So we'll see what happens or where we pick this up. Y'all have a good one. Peace.